thing
Sounds
that
good.
I really like that you're doing is because some people, here's what they do. They say, I want to be a voice actor, and they just sit there and wait till, I don't know, they just sit and wait and don't do anything. You you've got triple chord productions. You've got whole audio dramas that you're doing on your own. That's great. That's fantastic. So to start with, tell me what, maybe introduce yourself and then tell us about Triple Chord Productions.
All right. Well, my name is Betsy Nicholson, and I have been into voice acting for about 4 years, I think, 20 or three. I don't remember. I went to Lamplighter Masters Guild
Okay.
a few
What
years
year?
ago.
What year were you?
Um, it was either I think it was 2022 the year that I went. Um, I went for their school program that's like
Okay.
lasts 6 months and
Okay.
everything. It
Right.
was when they were producing Shipwrecked.
Okay.
And so we as students got to help with the background production, doing Walla and
Yeah.
hospitality ministry. And I was part of the group that got to go in and sit on the whole recording session for my school.
Okay.
And I also got a small part in that very briefly because they needed a girl to come in, deliver a telegram. And so I got cast for that. And
Oh,
I
very
loved
cool.
it.
So you're in Shipwrecked, in the Lamplighter audio drama Shipwreck.
I am. I
Very cool.
am.
Okay.
So yeah, it was so much fun. And after that, I was just like, man, I kind of want to get into this. And I talked to Dominic Trice, who was playing one of the leads in
Okay.
Shipwrecked. And he was like, hey, you should join this group called the Audio Drama Alliance. It'd be great. So I'm like, okay, God, if you want me to do this, open up the door for me to get in because it was interviewed and everything. You couldn't
Hmm.
just join the group.
Hmm.
And I got in, and I didn't think that would happen.
Okay.
I had no experience, and they just let me join this group, and I loved it. I got sick, so I couldn't go back to Lamplighter for a month because
Mhm.
of that. After Christmas break, I ended up getting a part in an Audio Drama Alliance audio. And while I was sick, and it was so funny. I was begging God. I'm like, Lord, I need this cold to clear up while I record my lines. And for the whole session while recording, all the symptoms cleared up, and as soon as I got back out, it was like all back, and I'm like,
Oh,
okay.
that's so cool.
So God's just been in it. So that's basically how I started voice acting. Eventually I started writing scripts because Audio Drama Alliance started doing challenges called let's see, Audio Drama Alliance Challenge, AMAX. And basically, we had 1 month to produce a 5 minute audio drama. And it was just to hone your skills. You
Okay.
could voice act, you could do sound design, you could collaborate with other people, but the majority of the work needed to be yours. So I just started doing small little skits and stuff for that, and I loved it. So
Okay.
it just felt like God had given me so many stories from childhood to tell, and I'd never been able to find the right medium to tell them in. And then I was like, audio drama, this is it, let's go. And so the Lord just kept opening up doors to just be like, okay, run with it. And so I created Triple Chord Productions. And I like to say that Triple Chord Productions is based on the verse about threefold chord. There'll always be me as
Okay.
the producer, then there will always be working with other people, collaboration, but God always has to be at the center.
Very good. I love that. That's wonderful. So, where are you wanting to go from here with voice acting?
Okay, so I've taken a few other courses. I've done Katie Lee and John Fornoff's
Hmm.
master classes,
Did you go to
and
Colorado recently?
I did. I
Oh,
was
that's
at
great.
the Making Great Audio Drama. You need to
Oh,
come next
I
year. It's
want to come next year.
amazing.
I definitely want to come
Or
next
if you're not there next year, I will hunt you
year.
down.
Okay, deal.
All right. So, but so they had a master class, and they decided to do a coaching master class just specifically on voice acting. And when I did that, John Fornoff was just like, okay, Betsy, you need to get some coaching. He's like, because you're really good and you
Mhm.
could go far in this, so
Mhm.
get coaching. And he's like, because it will take you to that next level. And I'm like, oh snap, okay. And that was just like, okay, God, I guess you want me to pursue this. If John Fornoff is like, you're
Yep.
talented, then I guess I better start figuring stuff out. So
Yeah.
I went to the camp. And again, I learned so much more about producing, directing, sound design. I love every part of it. Um, but I do want to grow in my voice acting as well.
Okay.
I know that I had like a 15-minute coaching session with Katie Lee, and she was like, okay, one thing that you can really focus on is learning how to respond to other characters in the moment and staying in character with responses,
Mhm.
and just going with the flow of that. And that's true. For the most part, I don't usually do live recordings. I've always just like recorded myself and sent it in, so I'm not used to reacting to another person
Right.
or
Right.
improvising
Right.
with another person. So there is that. And I mainly want to stick in with the family friendly audio drama stuff because
Mhm.
um just with me, I also studied classical music singing, so for about 16 years,
Okay.
um and everything. And the reason I never pursued music as a hardcore career is because I've seen so many people get lost in that
Mhm.
industry.
Very wise.
They've compromised their morals. They've gone off to do a lot of different things. And I've seen those stories that some of them were like classmates of mine growing up in the music world. And I just didn't want that. So the same is kind of the same for me with voice acting. I'm picky. I'm picky about the jobs I want to take. I would prefer not to ever swear in stuff. I want things to go along with the the moral standard that God has placed on my heart. So because of that, I don't want to just join any project or do any type of commercial just depending on what it is. So I don't really know how to pursue that well. I've only just been going into auditions for people I know I can trust, like Eternal Future Productions, um, shows that I've learned about through the Audio Drama Alliance, the family friendly production group on Facebook, and everything. So
Mhm.
that's how I've learned about stuff, but I've never really actively gone and sought out many places because I just don't know where they are. So I don't
Okay.
really know how to find safe places to audition and where to go.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So here's what I here's let me ask you this.
Okay.
In my case, to
Hmm.
me, because I'm very much the same as you. I'm very similar. Like you just repeated my thoughts to me as a voice actor. Right. I'm not gonna just jump into any old project and say, well, let's just work. So it doesn't matter if I'm swearing like a sailor or talking about these, ungodly things. I'm not gonna do it. Like I'm
Hmm.
I want to please the Lord. And so um that means I'm gonna miss out on some jobs out there. And I'm okay with that. I would
Yeah.
rather please God rather than man. And
Yeah.
I feel like um yeah, Kimberly Fisher says, I think it's awesome you want to stick to your morals. Don't ever stop doing that, by the way. I know you won't, but let me just tell you that, encourage you in that. Don't do it. You stick to them, stick to your guns. Good job. I admire
Thank
that
you.
because there's so many people, whether it's in Hollywood or other places, where they'll say, oh, I would never say this in real life. I would never do this in real life. But this is a paycheck and we're just at work. So I will say these awful things because I'm getting paid to. Like,
Hmm.
what are you doing? You know what I mean? To me, that's kind of my like.
Hmm.
What are we doing? It doesn't really matter if you're pretending or not. You're still saying it or doing it. Like, who cares
Yeah.
if you're pretending? You did it. And I'm going to
Yeah.
pretend to murder you. Bam. Like, well, no, that doesn't work. Um,
Yeah.
the so good job. The way that so I'm saying that from a standpoint that I think you'll agree with and you understand that
Hmm.
because not everybody understands that. Some people are like, what does that even mean? That's crazy. Um, I think the Lord has really honored my sort of desire to be pleasing to him and not do things that I couldn't let my grandma listen to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's been good to me. The last 7 years I've been working full time as a voice actor, doing things that I don't care who hears it. Like my pastor could hear it and I'd be like, yeah, you like that? Good. You know what I mean? There's
That's
nothing like, oh,
awesome.
don't listen to that. And I think the Lord just has a way of doing that.
Hmm.
So, in your case, I would say, would you be interested in stuff like, let's say, audiobooks or commercials, if they're obviously within those parameters?
I would be. I've had a few people come up to me and be like, I would be interested in you doing audiobooks, but I'm like, I've never done an audiobook. I don't know and stuff. So like I don't mind going into that. It's just I learn by watching and
Hmm.
everything and by listening to other people. So I've never seen anybody else produce or do an audiobook except
Okay.
for listening to audiobooks. So I don't know all of the ways of doing it and how to inflect, and like because it's different than audio drama, it's
A
a
little
little
different.
more monotone, and yet they still get into character, they still get into certain aspects. So I've never done it, but I would love to. I'm not opposed to it. I have one friend who really wants me to voice act for her book, and or not voice act, but do
Like
the
narrate the
audiobook
audiobook.
version of it. Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm willing to, because I've read her series. I know what it's about, and I'm like, yeah, I'd love to. I've never done it before, but I'd love to.
Okay. Well, all right. You ought to do it then, right? So,
Yeah.
you of all people, with your editing experience in audio dramas, audiobook editing is going to be nothing to you. All you do is, like, literally you hit record and you start reading. And then when you make a mistake, let's say, because you inevitably in a hour session, you're going to make some mistakes. It's okay.
Oh yeah.
What I do, I'll do like a little marker, sound marker, blow on the thing, snap fingers, do a clicker. I know different people do different things. And then you can go back and sort of cut those out. Just, start
Okay.
over at the sentence you messed up on at the beginning, where there's sort of a natural respiratory pause, and then just pick up and keep going. That's one
Okay.
way to do it. There's another way, and I don't even do this, but it's called punch and roll, where you're literally, as you edit, when you make a mistake, you go back and edit it right then. And then by the time you get to the end of the
Oh.
chapter, you've got this finished piece. I don't like doing that because it gets me out of the rhythm. Like, if
Yeah.
I'm in character saying this thing, and then I'm like, oh, okay, let me cut that out. Well, then I'm not in character anymore, or at least there's the
Yeah.
chance that I get out of character. So what I do is I'm like, Mr. Darcy, okay, let's see. Mr. Darcy, I want to tell you something. Well, and then you just keep going, right? And then you can cut
Yeah.
that out. So I stay in character, and then I have this piece, and then I just cut the mistakes out, and then there's the chapter. I
Okay.
think it'd be like the learning curve for you would be zero. You know what I mean? Like me, I had to
Okay.
learn all this stuff because I wasn't doing any of the stuff that you're doing when I got started. Everything that I learned came from YouTube, asking people, annoying people, bugging people, watching videos. You have
Oh, I
already.
still do all that.
I know. The what I'm saying is, audio drama editing is like way up here, and audiobook editing is way down here. Like, you would not have
Okay.
to learn anything to edit.
Okay.
And to me, that's a big part of the production, is the editing, obviously. The
Yeah.
the performance, I think the performance is as simple as, this is a little more nuanced than an audio drama. So if you're
Hmm.
voicing a man, right? Because you'll have to, if you're
Yeah.
doing an audio drama, you're going to talk, old, grandpa, and then here's grandma, and then mom and dad, and then the kids, and you're doing all the voices.
Yeah.
You're not going to be mistaken for grandpa, but that's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
going to
that's
be
fair.
mistaken for Anne of Green Gables,
Oh, I
but
don't know. You have red hair too, right?
not like her. My wife does,
Okay.
not me. Um,
Okay.
my daughter does, but not me.
Okay.
But
Okay.
what I'm saying is, I did the Anne of Green Gables audiobook and put it on my YouTube.
That's
And it
awesome.
was, and I think, I mean, this is me talking about my own stuff, but I don't think it was distracting me being Anne of Green Gables. I mean, it might be a
Mhm.
little odd that it's an adult like male doing it, but it's not distracting. It's like, you know, Diana Barry, you need to come over here. Like, okay, I don't sound like a little Canadian redheaded girl, but in
Yeah.
the scene when she's talking to Marilla, that'll differentiate it. There's a little more air, it's a
Mhm.
little higher, and then Marilla's a little lower, yada yada. Maybe
Yeah.
there's Matthew, Mr. Barry, whatever. As long as you're differentiating the characters and not being distracting about it,
Okay.
you can go all night. You know what I mean? So I would say with voice acting, it's easy. The performance is easier in that
Okay.
you're dialed back, but maybe it's harder, or at least you need to pay attention in that. Like, you don't want to be intense for 8 hours. People turn you off.
Yeah.
Like, you literally need to be. I need to be able to listen to this audiobook for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. So it's got to be a little less intense than, let's say, an audio drama. However,
Okay.
however that is for you. But I
Yeah.
definitely think that um, you would just, it would be such a natural progression for you into audio or audiobooks. And I definitely think so. In my case, like, I do everything you can imagine. You know what I mean? I do museum displays.
Oh, that's fun.
So like in at the World Cup in 2022 in Qatar, there's this huge museum called the Sheikh Faisal Museum, and he wanted everybody, the museum curators wanted the English speaking world to be able to come to this museum and understand what they're looking at. And so I did a bunch of museum displays in English, of course, for a, Arabic museum in the Middle East that
Wow.
people from all over the world will come to when they're not at the game, and look around. Look at these scimitars. Look at this, these scarves, whatever, silk, just all kind of stuff. That's one of the things that I do. Like telephony, right? Like IVR, where it's hello, you've reached the eye clinic in Houston, Texas, home of the Texas Rangers. Official. And really, one of the lines was the official eye care clinic of the Texas Rangers,
Oh,
right?
that's
And then
funny.
for one, like for to set an appointment, press 1. To talk about a bill, press 2. All that stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do that. That's
I
that
love that.
right, right, and it's very it's easy as far as there's not
Mhm.
10 takes. You do it once,
Yeah.
you're sort of enthusiastic and professional, and you're good. They're not going to ask and like, could you be a little more nuanced? And no, they're going to say, as long as you get kind of the right vibe, you're excited, glad you called. Here's the thing: if you need this, go here, yada yada yada. You're good. Bam. So
One of
it's
my favorite oh, sorry.
no, no, go ahead.
One of my favorite roles that I had in an audio drama was where I got to play an AI machine and I just channeled the inner telephone operator, and it was
Right.
just so much fun. I love stuff like that. I don't know why that I get a kick out of it. Like,
Okay. So
please press 1 for more information.
right. Now, a lot of people, they want the voice, but they don't want the AI, because it's like, well, I could
This is true.
I could spend $50 and get AI. How about we
This
spend
is true.
a couple hundred and get a real person?
Yeah,
And
that's fair.
you know what I mean? So it sounds like
Mhm.
you're talking to, like, you could say, welcome to the eye clinic, home of the Texas Rangers. For set an appointment, press 1. Okay, that's all the
Mhm.
information. Like, you got the information, you heard it clearly. You might not even think
Mhm.
about it. But if it was, hey, thanks for calling. You've reached the official eye clinic of the Texas Rangers. If you're trying to set an appointment, press 1. All of a sudden, you're like way more dialed in. Like, I think these
Yeah.
people like me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
they've been sitting
They're
by the phone
friendly.
waiting for me to call. They didn't pick up. Obviously, that's why I'm talking. But they want me to. They're real happy I called. That you can make money at that. All right. So that's
That's
another one.
really cool.
IVR, the telephone stuff. And then there's the commercials, right?
Mhm.
You and that's Southwest Airlines, that's, cars, that's Kool-Aid, that's literally everything has a TV commercial. And to
That's
my
true.
knowledge, everybody's still, the big ones anyway, are still using human narrators, and probably
Okay.
will continue to. I think really low budget stuff uses bad AI, but most people
Mhm.
that have any kind of budget at all and want to have any kind of positive impression, they're going to hire a human, just because AI is
Yeah.
not to the point that it can. I mean, I'm sure it will at some point in the near future, but it's not now. And
Yeah.
then so you have one, you're just going to be better, and then two, there are companies, and God bless them, where they're like, we want a real voice to represent us, as
Yeah.
opposed to a computer sort of generation. So
Yeah. Praise the Lord for those places,
right,
because it's just
right.
like, oh my goodness.
And
Yeah.
it's I'm not gonna fight them. Like, if that's better for you and your company, then go for it. But I'm gonna strive to be so much better than AI that I'm
Mhm.
trying to be better than AI. So you'll want to hire me just because I'm better. That's kind of my goal.
Yeah.
And and in your case, I think we're a long ways away from being able to do generative, like, AI voices in an audio drama where it's believable. I think we're still
Mhm.
further from that. But anyway, I think with your voice, like, obviously you're doing character stuff. I think if you say, you know what, I'm going to open up my possibilities to include commercials, you know, literally explainer videos, IVR, telephone stuff, museum pieces, explainer videos on YouTube for sales, for whatever non-controversial product, uh,
Yeah.
you know, ads for TV and radio. I mean, I think you can really sort of fund your passion. You're using your voice, but you're that much closer to it with
Yeah.
triple chord productions and audio drama character work. Um, and I think that if you get a commercial demo together, stick it on a place like Fiverr, Upwork, that kind of thing,
Okay.
you're going to start getting business. You have a
Okay.
lovely, I don't like saying deep, because it's not deep, but there's a lower quality to your voice, and I just love it. Like,
Oh, thank you.
there's a depth to it, that, and I don't mean like a baritone, deep, a
Mhm.
deepness, but like there's a maturity to it. You know what I mean? When you're in acting, and I just think it's great. And I think that, I mean, usually most companies, they're trying to sell you something, right?
Mhm.
I mean, obviously that's why we're running the ad.
Yeah.
Now, if you're running, let's say, if you got a financial planning firm, and you're saying, basically, give us your millions to invest and take care of and steward for you, do you want some little shrill 12-year-old sounding girl?
No.
Right?
Be like, what are you gonna do with my money?
What are you gonna do with it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Subliminally, there's just some positive things that come from a lower, mature sounding voice, be they male or female. You have that. And I don't think you have to. Some people have to put it on, and they can and do it great, and good for them. But I don't think you, from what I've heard on some of your stuff, you don't have to put it on. That's kind of you naturally. You're sort of on the lower end of things that immediately portrays maturity, trustworthiness, sincerity. There's all these things that subliminally the hearer thinks about you. You know what I mean? And so when you put that onto an ad where you're like, hey, buy this luxury car, all of a sudden they're going to be like, yeah, I think I will. It sounds good. It's good enough for her, good enough for me. So
Yeah.
I would definitely say, I think you should seriously consider getting a commercial demo together,
Okay.
and putting it on some freelance sites, and going from there, because I
All
think you'd
right.
be really good at that. And
But
then,
I saw like,
yeah,
oh, sorry. I
well,
saw
you're in your,
where
you're in your studio doing what you love to do, and then,
yeah.
let's do this ad. Okay, now let's do this character. You're already right there.
Yeah. And you said that in your class that you have online that we can use those prompts to create
Absolutely.
demos out
Yeah,
of
yeah.
those.
Grab them,
Awesome.
and a lot of people like I'll post the script so you could grab it, but also some of the folks, I know Jacob Herbal's done it a couple times. Uh, Jeremy's done it, but they'll take it and put music to it in the background.
Mhm.
That's great. Use it in your demo. That's fine. So you
Okay.
use the script, and it has the sort of recognizable brand name in it. And this is a demo. You're not selling it. You're not claiming to have done work for them. This is fair use type
Mhm.
of stuff for copyrighted material. Totally fine. You're using 6 to 10 seconds of it, and you're just saying, this is what I would sound like. If you're
Mhm.
a screen actress, you might put on a doctor's lab coat and say, I'm Dr. Nicholson. You're
No.
not, but that's what I look like as Dr. Nicholson, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the casting director can say, I could see her as Dr. Yeah. That sounds good. That's what you're doing with your voice when you do stuff for, Infinity automobiles, right? So it's
Mhm.
like, okay, yeah, that's believable. That sounds good. I could use that. In my case, I took a Jaguar ad that Benedict Cumberbatch narrated. When those are beautiful, by the way. You ought to check them out on YouTube. Just like Jaguar ad, Benedict Cumberbatch, they're phenomenal. That's how you read an ad for that kind of a thing. So I took that and I Americanized it a little bit, so you're not saying, aluminum alloy wheels or whatever. So I just Americanized it slightly and changed Jaguar to Infinity and put like an Infinity brand in it. Totally, like I sort of Frankensteined the script together, and it sounded great. I've made more money off of that 12 seconds than anything else in my life,
Wow.
including 3 different times from Infinity. They're like, "Oh, that's a great
Oh.
sound ad. I don't remember working with you, but let's do it again." I'm like, "Okay, it's great."
That's awesome.
So,
That's so funny.
yeah, I mean, like, what are you gonna do? So, uh, yeah, I would say get a commercial demo together and then put it on a place like Fiverr, Upwork, Voice Bunny, there's different ones. In my case, and I would think it would be the same with you, I have never gotten audiobook work from anything other than an audiobook demo or character work, like anything other than character work from my character demo. With a commercial demo, I have gotten character work, I have gotten audiobook work, I've gotten like everything you can imagine off of a character or off of a commercial demo. Like, oh,
Huh.
we loved your Infinity ad. Could you do this video game character? Could you audition for us? I'm like, sure. Oh, we loved it. I'll hire you. Oh, could you, we heard your
So
Infinity
the
ad.
way into voice acting is commercials.
To me, that's the way it's been. That doesn't mean everyone else
Wow.
will be, but I would say get your commercial demo together, get
Okay.
it up where people can see it, and then until people start knocking, go do whatever else you want. Get
Mhm.
your character demo together, that kind of thing. But commercial demos, that is a foot in the door. And
It's
right
good to
now,
know.
yeah, and I think that a lot of companies, they right now companies want to be represented with a female voice. You know what I mean? It's like cool
Huh.
to be like, if a female voice is what's sort of representing us. Great, use that. That's that's
Okay.
good stuff. And then with your, the timbre of your voice, I think it's just very trustworthy. Which, if I'm trying to sell you something, I need trustworthy,
Yeah,
right?
you don't want to sound sleazy and
You don't
oily.
want to sound sleazy. You don't want to sound snaky. You don't want to sound quirky. You know what I mean? I mean,
Mhm.
there's different styles of advertising. Like, if I can
Yeah.
make you laugh, maybe you buy it, that kind of thing. But generally, if it's a straight on read, you need to sound trustworthy,
Mhm.
whatever the product is. And there's just and you've got a great voice for that. I think you could lean into that and make a lot of money off of commercials.
All right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And so, like I said, grab scripts out of anything that you see that you're like, okay, yeah, I like that. Grab it. Make a little 6-second 6 to 10 second little bit, right? Put a little
Mhm.
music behind it. Maybe put a little bit of sound effect, not like a soundscape, but a dog barking or a car revving if it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If it's a Hallmark birthday cards, you hear like surprise, yay in the background. I don't know. Just whatever, just a slight bit of detail in the background, which it'll be so in your wheelhouse. With what you've done, what I've heard you do, it would be like a step down for you to make your own demo based on the kind of work you've done. And then, make it 60 seconds or so and stick it on YouTube and then stick it on Fiverr, stick it on Upwork, and just let that piece of content work for you and because like, let's say Fiverr, you're going to have people from all over the world that it can possibly show up in front of. Like, oh, I like the way she sounds. Sounds great. I'm gonna put in an order here, whatever. So I would definitely highly encourage you to just sort of lean into commercials because there's a lot of voice work that can be done. Not to mention, it's constant practice for any
Mhm.
other character that you do. And in
Yeah.
fact, I think it makes you really good at the characters that are not silly, over the top, sort of fun characters. Because those are
Mhm.
fun. Like I'm the talking like aardvark. Well, okay, well that's gonna be over the top, most likely. Aardvark talking, that kind of thing. But if you're, let's say, you're cast as mom in this audio drama,
Mhm.
and you have a daughter that's off at school and has a crisis of faith, and you're trying to help her in that. Well, there's going to be some gravity that needs to be with that. And when you're
Yeah.
practicing commercials, like you're going to be dialed into gravity. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's not hard at all because that's what you do every day. Everybody wants you to have gravity. Everybody wants you to
Mhm.
be grounded and trustworthy and sincere and sound like you're giving advice to a close friend. Because used to, if you look at old commercials or real old commercials, they didn't even have microphones that could pick up bass very well, which is why they talked up here in the treble clef. You're like, hey, get buy this product. For the Oldsmobile is the greatest car you could have. That kind of thing. That was Microphones didn't pick up bass. Well, then,
Oh.
so they sort of you had to talk in that nasally sound way up here. Well, later on, you kind of kept that hard sell, like you need to buy this right now. Come down here, pay your money, and we'll give it to you, and it's 50% off. Like they're demanding that you come pay your money.
Yeah.
Well, just society changes, people change, and now people don't want to be sold to like that. People
Mhm.
want to be kind of have their emotions. Like you need to hit me logically and emotionally. I need a little of both,
Yeah.
as opposed to just logically. If you need a car,
Mhm.
come down here and pay for this, and we'll give it to you. Well, it needs to be. This is like the best car you can have. All your friends have it. It's super comfortable, and so they like
Mhm.
to have that. Um, let's talk you into buying this thing, but we're going to persuade you instead of like demand that you buy it. It's just a different marketing, like, style, but that's much more popular now. So if you can sort of uh, give the impression that you are giving like information, advice to a good friend who trusts you, you can make a lot of money on that.
All right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so good to know. Like all of that aspect of commercial, I just never knew. So to
Mhm.
be able to hear all that and it's like, okay, now I have a general direction, a roadmap of what way to go with that. And that's so
Exactly.
helpful.
Yep. So I think in your case, you ought to be, because, in voice acting, there's so many ways you could do it. And most people, they think character acting, audio dramas, maybe video games, maybe animation, but that's what they think of, you know, and every once a month, once every 6 months, I get a job and I'm, but I'll never probably do this for a living. Maybe not. I don't know. But okay, what if you had your voiceover, your video game, and your animation, but then you had audiobooks, and then you have
Mhm.
commercials, and then you have explainer videos, and you have all these other things that people are constantly coming to you about, like multiple times a week, let's say. But man, you can make a living at that if you're willing to branch
Yeah,
out. And not to mention, I think you're sort of cross training on all the other ones. So if you're good at audiobooks, if you can hold somebody's attention for 8 hours, you can hold it for 15 seconds or
that's
30. You
true.
know what I mean? It's no
Yeah.
brainer. And so yeah.
So, okay, hold on. I had a question. Oh yeah. So, if I was getting together a demo for like Fiverr and stuff, I have a Fiverr account. I set one up the other day after you'd recommended it, and I looked at it and I'm like, oh, everybody has like pictures on their videos and stuff
Yes.
of their faces and stuff. Do the videos need to be of your studio and show you, or does it need to just be a still image?
I mean, it's up to you. They
Hmm.
say a video gets more traction. I haven't found that to be the case. That's what they say. So
Okay.
it wouldn't hurt. What I would do for sure is have a thumbnail picture with
Okay.
your face on it. I don't know why. I just think that when you have a face, it makes you more relatable. It's sort
More
of,
personable.
when I'm scrolling, if two pop up and one has a microphone and it says male narrator and one has a guy like and male narrator, I'm going to click that one first. I don't
Yeah.
know, because I see his face, I see his eyes. I'm drawn more to the the face. So I would say have a thumbnail like you would on YouTube up
Okay.
there. And the way that Fiverr does it, if you have one thumbnail, they will use that as you're sort of in the feed. So it'll show you your face. It might say, American female voiceover, whatever. And then when you click on it, then you go into the profile where you can have, there's your demo, maybe your character demo as well, maybe your narration demo,
Okay.
e-learning, audiobook. What you can have multiple ones, but it just shows your picture, and that gets them onto your profile shopping and listening to what you sound like.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Good
what
to
I would do
know.
on Fiverr is like literally type in like female voiceover
Hmm.
and see what pops up, right? What do their when you type that in and it pops up, what do they look like? What do the thumbnails look like? What does their profile look like? That kind of thing. And then maybe try something else. Try like voice actor female. All right.
Okay.
Well, when you do that, well, that's a different keyword. And yet you'll see some of the same faces.
Hmm.
And you're going to say, that
Okay.
person has got some good SEO there. And so when you type in a few different things and then you see the same faces over and over, I would go to theirs and say, okay, look, what kind of keywords are we using? How are they setting up their description? What does their thumbnail look like? What does their audio sound like? That kind of thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, I would do something like that. But yeah, there's that can be you. You can be in that feed. And the thing about Fiverr that's really cool is they have an algorithm which is like cyclic. So it'll say like if you're getting a lot of work, you might get 3 or 4 in a day, and then the next day you get 3 or 4, and then the next day like nobody messaged me, nobody's saying anything. Well, it's because it goes like this. Like your algorithm,
Oh,
it's intentionally made that way. Now, for somebody that's been on there for a while, that's not cool, right? But for somebody like you that's just getting on, that's real cool.
yeah.
Because let's say I was on the front page, well, now I get put to page 5 or 10 or 100, and now you're on the front page, and people get to see you. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
cool how they do it. Um, so I would definitely be on Fiverr, and then
Okay.
try, at least a couple more. Upwork, maybe do a web search and say, where can I put a commercial demo that I don't have to pay for it? So I would say
Okay.
voices.com. My personal recommendation, don't worry about voices.com, because you got to
Okay.
pay a lot of hundreds of dollars just to get access to the
Mm,
auditions. And
yeah.
then when you book it, then they take a cut of it as well.
Okay.
So it's got, I mean, that's not a scam or anything, but that's not my style of business model. I would rather it
Yeah.
be, I want to be on here for free. And then if I make money, you make money and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
So I would look for ones like that personally.
And what are your top 5 recommendations that you've done?
I would say, excuse me, Fiverr, Voquent. It's Voquent. It's a little bit of a newer British one. I really like
Okay.
them. They're very kind, phenomenal customer service. There's one called Voice Bunny that I got a lot of work off of, but they're really hard. The communication is very hard, and to me, at this point, it's not worth it. Early on,
Okay.
it might be. It'd be a good way to get experience. Basically, you can't talk directly to the client because apparently they're afraid you'll run off and make money off of the site. So you have to, any sort of communication with a client, instead of, let's say, like Fiverr, like, oh, that sounded really good, but I was hoping you could make it a little more excited sounding. Well, I could say,
Mhm.
cool, I'll do it again. It's 30 seconds. No problem. And I do it again, more excited. And they're like, oh, great, thanks. On Voice Bunny, they will hear it and say, could you tell him to be more excited? Well, then the little person's like, could you be more excited? And so
Yeah.
they add this middleman in there that's just kind of annoying. However, I
Okay.
got a lot of work on there, so it's sort of what you're willing to put up with. But that
Mhm.
would be one.
Okay.
And then Upwork is a great one. And I'm not even on Upwork, actually. I've just heard great things from so many people. I've never gotten around to putting a profile up. But so yeah, Fiverr, Voquent, Voice Bunny, depending on how you look at it, Upwork, and then shoot, what's another one? There's Freelancer. I would do a sort of a YouTube, and I mean it, or a Google search. There's probably more sites now than there were when I was, first getting on. You know what I mean? And I just haven't
Okay.
even looked at new sites in, I don't know, a couple of years probably. So there's very well could be new sites that are, oh, they're up and coming and they're easy to work with and they're great and they do business. So I would say just like type in on Google freelance voiceover sites and see what pops up. And if you
Okay.
like the way it looks, hop on there. But when you have that commercial MP3 that's 60 seconds long, now you've actually got a piece of content to upload to make a profile.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I would say that's your
Makes sense.
short-term goal target, short range target. And then once you have that, then start, getting on these freelance sites.
Okay. And then what about for audiobooks? Where would you go to find audiobook stuff?
acx.com.
ACX.
That
Okay.
is owned by Amazon. So they own Audible. So it puts
Mhm.
narrators, authors, and producers all in the same page. And you
Okay.
can go to acx.com like tonight and look what books are open for audition. You say auditions, click on auditions, and it'll show you 5,000 books that are up for audition.
Wow.
And you can start auditioning. Now, I think it helps to have a profile. So a little headshot and then maybe a couple samples. And these don't have to be full-blown demos. This could be, okay, here's a minute section of me reading a nonfiction narration book, history book. Here's fiction narration. Here's two women talking. Here's a man and a woman talking. Here's a little girl talking to her grandma. Like these are 30-second little clips that you can post just so the producer can say, man, she can do anything I need her to.
Okay.
And then when you start, auditioning, and you don't even have to do that. You can literally audition with nothing in your profile, like a little goose egg, and then it says, Betsy in. I mean, like it doesn't have to be much. You could
Mm.
start auditioning tonight if you wanted to. That's the
Wow.
best place that I've found.
Okay.
But that Authors Republic is another good one. I would get on Ahab Talent. I think that's, what is it? Penguin, I think. Penguin
Ooh.
does pulls their audiobooks from Ahab Talent. But yeah, and then also obviously just be listening to great audiobooks, and you can do that off of
Yeah.
YouTube. Uh, and as opposed to audio dramas, because it's just different. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like you mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, it's just a different genre. It's the difference
Hmm.
in going to a theater and hearing Macbeth, and then your grandpa telling you about Macbeth by the fireside. It's just going to
Yeah.
be a different experience, both wonderful, but totally different. And that's kind of how an
Yeah.
audiobook is, because you are bringing life to every single voice and the narrator.
Hmm.
And that's just a different challenge than, okay, I'm Linda, and that's all I am.
Yeah.
And there's all these other voices, and there's music, and there's sound effects, not to distract, but like add to the story. Whereas
Yeah.
audiobook, it is you and the Lord. Like there's nothing else.
Hmm.
No music, no sound
Yeah.
effects, no other voices. It's just you. So um, I would listen to good ones. One that I love is Derek Jacobi. Oh, and I think listening to great narrators make you a better narrator. Derek Jacobi is one of my favorites.
I've
Um,
never heard of him. What has he narrated?
he has narrated. Now he's a screen actor, so he's been in lots of stuff.
Hmm.
A British actor. He has narrated uh, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader by C.S. Lewis.
Ooh.
It's musical. Like it's his narration is musical. Like it sounds like water cascading over the falls. Like it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. If you get somebody like that and you just start listening and say, okay, I'm going to do it like him, you'll be all right.
Okay.
Like
Good to
lots of
know.
inflection, like like The Wind in the Willows. He did Wind in the Willows, which I love, one of my favorite books. So some people, the book goes, the mole had been working very hard all afternoon cleaning his little home. That's the opening line of this classic book. The mole had been working very hard all morning, spring cleaning his little home. Me as an American, I would be like, "Bep, bep, 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 bep," right? He goes, you know, The Wind in the Willows by Derek Jacobi. And all of a sudden you're like, what? This is going to be good. And he says, the mole had been working very hard all morning, spring cleaning his little home. And then you're like, no way.
Yes.
And then the whole thing it's musical. Like there's no linear type of sort of intonation. It's all, he keeps you on your edge of your seat with his inflection, his intonation, all that stuff. He's amazing. So that's just one
I
guy
gotta
that
go
I
listen
really
to
like.
Wind in the Willows now.
You ought to. It's on YouTube. At least a good hour of it is. Yeah,
Nice.
Wind in the Willows,
I'll have to do that.
definitely do it. And then his characters are in what do you call it? Mr. Toad. When he's Mr. Toad, oh, it's amazing. It's like another dude. He's incredible. So check out some of that and get on ACX. You've got the skills to pay the bills. I've heard you. You're
Okay.
good. And you ought to be keep doing what you're doing, but also get you a commercial demo, get it on Fiverr and some other places if you can. Get on ACX, start auditioning for audiobooks. And I think you could very quickly get to the point that you like, I know, I'm sorry, don't have time for that. I got this other project I'm working on. You know what I mean?
Wow. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be a dream to be
Yeah.
able to do stuff like that.
And like a proverb says, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thought shall be established. There, um, I would say, Lord, here's what I want to do. And if you could make that possible for me, I'll make sure I give you the credit and I won't step out of bounds to the best of my, by the grace of God, to the best of my ability, and then go for it. And I just think the Lord, he likes that, and he tends to bless that kind of talk and action.
I agree. I agree. I guess my last question then is, with like One Voice Dallas or all the other
Mhm,
different voiceover
mhm.
conferences. Which ones do you recommend going, or do you not recommend going for stuff like that as commercial voiceover?
I've never been to one. I know,
Really?
like Mitch North. You know Mitch North? He was at the
Yeah,
Guild. Yeah,
he was at the
he's
guild and he
been.
came to the Colorado one as well.
Oh, right. Okay, there you go. So yeah, he went to VO Atlanta. He went to the North, the one a few weeks ago. He loves them. And so I mean, I would say if you can do it, go for it. If you got the
Okay.
time and the resources, go for it. I mean, I don't think there's anything you could do to, um, there's nothing bad going to come of that. You can make
Okay.
connections, learn a lot, go for it for sure. I'm going
All
to try
right.
to go to both of those next year. We'll see how that goes. But I
Nice.
mean, if I can, I'll definitely be going to those. So maybe I'll see you
I
there.
want to try to go to both of them next year, so maybe we will cross paths.
Maybe we'll cross paths. We'll trade notes
Oh,
and
you know
say
what we should do?
we talked about this. What's that?
We should do like a flash mob of voices and
That'd
like have something predetermined with the people that we already know, and then like we just all of a sudden pretend like we had not met, and then we just start immediately going into character.
Hey, there we go. I think we both know a lot of people that were there and will be there again. And like
Mhm.
we could have a huge mob.
We could do it. We could do it just all like right at the entrance and just immediately go into character. We have this
We're going character.
predetermined script.
We, exactly.
Who does flash mobs of voiceover? We do.
We do. Jake and Betsy do. I don't know about y'all.
Yes. All right, we'll plan it. I'll
Okay.
plan. I'll plan on it. We'll meet at VO Atlanta and then VO Dallas, and we're gonna do this thing.
Okay. Okay. Deal. Lord willing.
All
That's
right.
what will happen.
Yep.
So you've got I mean, you know how to contact me. Drop any questions you have in the group chat or whatever. We'll get them answered. But I really think, I would really hit hard on the audiobook and the commercial demo. And I really think you would be hopefully surprised at how quickly you will expand into other genres that are paying you well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Yep. Right now I'm in the middle of moving. I'm going from one place to the next right now because there was mold found in my house. So
Oh no.
right now, I know I'm like literally house hopping. I'm about to end my stay up with some friends. I'm gonna go rent another house for um about 4 months, and then I'm moving to Colorado for 3 months to see if that helps with stuff.
Okay.
So I'm going all over the place. So
Okay.
I'm now trying to figure out how to create a portable sound booth that I can always have quality sound wherever I go.
Okay. Well, everywhere that I go, I mean, I travel a lot, and I always take a portable sound booth with me. A
Which
lot
one
of
do you have?
Well, I have a lot of pillows and a lot of comforters. I do
Oh, that's
have.
true.
I don't. I have a little sound shield that I usually. That's my base, and then I just stack pillows and pull comforters over my head. Now, I'm not
Good to
going to
know.
do an audiobook on the road or anything, but if someone's like, "Hey, I need this 30-second commercial done," I'll do it. Like at the Guild last month, I I was in one of the houses with a basement in it,
Oh,
so
yeah. Sorry, I lived there. So
I found a bunch of junk in the basement and literally set up 2 mattresses. I set up this little I set up a little booth. I took a picture of it. I need to post it in the group. What
do it.
So at night after I got done teaching, I would go into the basement and do some voiceovers. And so I was working the whole time I was at the Guild. So yeah,
What
don't let
color was your house?
the color. It was the one at Eagle Street or Eagle Nest or whatever. The
Eagle
one,
Street. I know
yeah.
exactly which
Right,
house.
that's the one it was. The whatever basement is phenomenal. It's a good basement. It's a good sound. So quiet. There's no car. You don't hear
Nice.
any traffic. It's off the road. It is quiet as a tomb. All you got to do is soften it with some blankets and some pillows, like I did. And it was funny. One of my clients actually, like I recorded it in the basement, sent it to him, said, let me know if this will work. And he actually said, thanks, Jay. Your sound quality is always so awesome. Thank you so much. Like, of all the times he could have said it, he did it right after. This is a regular client, but it's like, he hardly ever says that. But that time he happened to say it. And I was in the basement of the Eagle Street house between
Nice.
a mattress and box springs and a blanket over my head and my little sound shield. You know what I mean? You can do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know.
Yep. Well, good deal. This has been fun. And keep me in the loop.
Been.
And in the group, you ought to post some of those, like some of the ones you sent. You ought to post them in the showcase tab. I would love people to see what you're doing. And then like, oh, that's actually a really good idea. If I don't have paid work, I'll just make stuff for myself. I want, like, that's how you do it. You're doing you're doing what I preach to people all the time. So I love that.
Well, thank you. And thank you for listening.
You're doing it on your own. You're welcome. Yeah, this has been great. This has been great. And any more follow-ups, or you need anything, let me know, and I'll point you in the right direction best I can. But you have got the skills to pay the bills, my friend.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Oh, and will this live video be posted and shareable? I'd love to send this to some people.
Yes, I will make sure you get a link for it. That way you can sort of, send it, rewatch it for the notes, send it to whoever you want, that kind of thing.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Good deal. We have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.
You too. All right. Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.